What's going on, guys? This is the Red Rogue, and I hope you're all doing well today. Well, folks, it finally happened. An official release date for patch 9.15 is now confirmed and looming on the horizon, with November 2nd being the day that North American servers will finally get tons of quality of life changes covering a lot of aspects of the game, such as leveling, covenant swapping, no more conduit energy, clearing old content, and much more. While I could probably do a video babbling about all of the goodies and changes finally coming into Shadowlands, this video is meant to be a bit more of a 9.15 preparation guide, so that way you'll be able to take advantage of some of the changes that are coming. First and foremost, if you've been playing a little bit or staying modestly active recently and want to swap covenants more easily on all of the characters on your account, make sure to hit 80 renown on at least one character. This is because if you don't reach maximum renown at least once, then all of your characters are going to have to do the same annoying covenant swapping stuff that we have to currently, which means if you're trying to go back to a covenant that you were a part of, then you're going to have to grind out those annoying weekly quests every week for a couple weeks. If you've been staying caught up on this, then this shouldn't be an issue, but for folks just coming back, then please keep in mind this level of renown, and if you haven't done the 9.1 Chains of Domination campaign ever before, then you will have to complete it at least once since a lot of renown is locked behind the campaign, which means on whatever character you're doing this on, you should do it. As an added bonus for hitting renown 80, there will be a new item that you can buy from a new NPC named Audara, the new heirloom broker next to the Flightmaster in Oribos. The item that you'll be wanting to grab is the Broker Mark of Distinction, which is a bind on account item that costs a mere 500 gold. This item will instantly set your renown to 40 in any covenant you're currently a part of, and it is consumed on use. This can be super handy for fresh alts just hitting level 60, or even when you're just swapping covenants between ones you haven't been in before, since you can buy multiple of these as soon as they're unlocked. Number 2 on my recommendations of things you might want to take care of is complete the covenant campaign for each of the 4 covenants. You can use multiple characters to do this, it doesn't have to be the same one, so if you have alts in each of the covenants, this can make it really easy, but either way, I strongly recommend you do all 4 campaigns before patch 9.15. The reason I recommend this is because if you complete a covenant campaign at least once on your account and unlock the 3rd and final soulbind of that covenant, then any other characters on your account that want to join that covenant will be able to skip all of the campaign and have their soulbinds unlocked immediately, which is a pretty massive benefit as some of the later soulbinds are very potent depending on the covenant you're joining and the spec that you're playing. The other big perk, which I slightly mentioned, is if you complete a covenant campaign, then any subsequent characters that join that covenant won't have to touch the campaign ever at all, because all the renown that would normally be locked behind it will be eligible to be earned from all renown sources. You can still do the campaign if you want, as it does reward some pretty easy and plentiful renown, but if you've done a certain campaign half a dozen times already and never want to see it again, well, you won't have to in patch 9.15 and beyond. Oh, and as a bit of a heads up, to reach the final chapter of any of the 4 Covenant campaigns, you will need to have at least 22 renown and complete all the prior chapters for said campaign. You'll be earning quite a lot just from doing the campaign chapters since they upped how much they give, but you might want to throw in a couple dungeons, maybe some Covenant callings, or kill the currently active world boss either in the regular zones of Shadowlands or in the Maw with Morgeth, as those will all earn you some extra renown to help make sure you have enough. A topic I plan on covering more in depth in a week or so is the Legion Time Walking event, and more specifically the Mage Tower. For those of you interested in earning a cool mount or a unique color variation of your respective class's Tomb of Sargeras set, which was one of the raids back in Legion, you'll want every advantage and perk that you can get your hands on. And one thing I really recommend that you do, which will be a lot easier with the leveling improvements in patch 9.15, is to get some of your extra characters up to level 60 that you want to do the Mage Tower on. While the Mage Tower will be scaling all participants down to level 45 and their gear to item level 50, there are a lot of classes and specs in the game that receive very strong improvements to their abilities when leveling from 50 to 60. Such as Havoc Demon Hunters at level 54 gaining a new effect for Metamorphosis, where it resets the cooldown of both Blade Dance and Eye-Beam, or at level 58 where you gain a free 15% haste proc for 12 seconds after fully channeling an Eye-Beam cast. Some classes may not have nearly as big of perks associated with leveling up, but every little bit helps and can make the Mage Tower a little easier to complete so you can earn your Transmog set and maybe even complete the Tour of Towers achievement, which requires doing all 7 Mage Tower encounters so you can earn the Soaring Spell Tome mount. Leveling in patch 9.15 from 50 to 60 is a bit faster than before, and the Mage Tower will open for the first Legion Time Walking event about 2 weeks after 915 launches, so that gives you a good bit of time to get some characters up to 60 if you've been slacking off like I have. Now, for a couple things I would recommend waiting to do once 915 is active, as it'll just save you some time spent and headache in the long run if you hold off for a bit. If you're working on the Archivist Codex reputation on your main or on any of your alts, then don't go too crazy in this last week of farming, and make sure to hold on to your relic fragments and all that stuff for when the patch goes live. They're basically increasing a bunch of things, like the drop rate of relic fragments, the amount of reputation you get with the Archivist when you hand them in, and there'll be a bunch of upgrades and whatnot that you'll earn, and there'll be new quests when you reach Tier 3, Tier 4, and Tier 5 respectively, with each of these quests giving you a boost to your chance of finding twice as many relic fragments whenever you loot or earn any. The rare spawns around Korthia will now award relic fragments on repeated kills, you'll be able to earn them from going into the Korthian rifts, and even more enemies in general are going to be carrying relic fragments. Oh, and super important, if you're a masochist like myself and already have a character with Tier 6 reputation with the Archivist Codex, you'll be able to purchase the Relic Research Report Relic Examination Techniques. This is a bind-on-account item that you'll be able to send to any of your alts, and using this item on your alt will increase the amount of reputation that that character earns from depositing relics and relic fragments with the Archivist by 50%. So be sure to hold on to all your fragments and don't deposit any until you get this item. It currently appears to cost 2,500 cataloged research, so you'll buy this on your main and send it to whatever alt you want to help speed up their reputation farming with. The other thing I would recommend not farming much of until patch 915 goes live is Torghast, because in 915 they'll be greatly increasing the amount of soul cinders you earn from clearing layers 8 and higher. And on top of that, you'll be able to rerun any wing of Torghast and earn the full amount of soul ash and soul cinders repeatedly ad nauseum as much as you want. This means you can very quickly make higher ranked legendaries on a fresh character if you're willing to binge on Torghast for an afternoon, instead of the annoying time-gated nature of soul cinders currently. And if you've already done some of the patch 9.1 Chains of Domination campaign, then don't forget you can send Soul Ash to your alts thanks to that packaged Soul Ash bind-on-account item that Bonesmith Airmere has for sale in Keeper's Respite of Korthia. If you haven't unlocked her yet, then you'll need to do a bit of the patch 9.1 campaign in Korthia, that's the new zone in the Maw if you're still new to all of it, and once you reach the last sigil chapter, you will have access to this vendor. There's quite a lot of changes coming in 915, but I figured these were some of the more important things that you might want to take care of in advance or not really touch until the patch goes live. That way you can reap the most benefits of all these quality of life changes. Either way, I hope this information helps you if you're just getting into Shadowlands or coming back from a bit of a hiatus, we'll call it. If this video did prove useful to you then, please consider leaving a like or a comment as they're greatly appreciated and help support the YouTube algorithm's insatiable hunger. Otherwise, I'll have to feed it more sheeps. As always, my appreciation and gratitude to all of my viewers, and especially my patrons, who all help make these Shiba Shenanigans possible. Thank you all so much for watching. This is the Red Rogue, and I'll see you guys around.